What is going on, guys? We have Zach today with us from NFT Story Cards. Thanks for joining us. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So I always start with the same question. Can you just explain what got you into crypto, all that stuff, and then what led up to Wax?
Sure. I got into crypto. I'm pretty sure it was because of Joel Comm and the Bad Crypto podcast. I'm a big guy in social media and marketing and stuff, and I heard him talk about crypto on something, and I'd followed him for years about other things, and started listening to the Bad Crypto podcast, and I was like, hey, this is super cool. I'm a techie guy. I like to try out new things early. At the time, I was single, so I could waste money in crypto, and so I got started in crypto, and then that just led along to NFTs as everybody else kind of saw NFTs as the crypto market evolved and added new things, and so I jumped on the NFT bandwagon as well.
Awesome. So can you explain NFT Story Cards a little bit for those who aren't aware?
Yeah. So this is, I have still not seen a project out there that is similar to ours. There's a lot of NFT projects that have a story around them. I think of Dr. Zamzi and some of those that have these story aspects, but not that have like an actual story. So my brother's an author. He writes creative, sci-fi, fantasy kinds of things. And I was like, hey, these NFTs would be a really cool way to do a choose your own adventure. And I remember reading these choose your own adventure books when I was little, where you go to the page and be like, okay, if you want to do this, go to this page. If you want to do this, go to this page. And I was like, that would be so cool in NFT format. But the biggest thing I didn't want was that you would have the card, and we chose the Wax blockchain just because cards are very popular in that style. No gas fees, easy to get started. Kind of love the community there. But what I didn't want was like, hey, I could really just hop on the market, the Atomic Hub or whatever, and look at all the cards and read the story right on the metadata or whatever. I didn't want the story. I wanted to hide the story. So you had to own the card to be able to access the story. So we set up NFTStory.Cards, and there we have a story portal. And so when you have the card in your cloud wallet, you log in, and then you have access to that part of the story. So we have a starter card that's called The Boy in the Book. The whole story kind of focuses on this orphan named Josiah, who's found this book that talks to him in this underground kind of area that they live and hang out in. And then at the end of that first section of the story, you are given a choice. There are 3 choices there that you can choose from. And then it has kind of a recipe for it. So we use the blend option, and we do it through Nifty Blocks, where you have a pack of motivation cards. And depending on what action you want to take, which one of those story paths you want, you burn or blend 2 different action cards, or excuse me, 2 different motivation cards with a coin, and you get the next part of the story. And it just is branched out. There's death as endings in some of them, and capture, and the kid gets enslaved in other ones. But then there's 2 main endings that you can come to, and we're still kind of releasing those paths as we go. I think you can get through 4 layers of the story so far. We're going to be releasing the 5th layer tomorrow, I believe. Tomorrow or Wednesday. So,
Right on.
Wow, that's super interesting. I have a question about the story portal. So you say you built it. Is there a lot that goes into that? And just a question that came to my head was, is that something that could be open source, where maybe it's possible where you could collaborate with other projects? They could insert some NFTs, and then they could use the portal as well.
Certainly. Yeah, we actually hired out the development of it. I unfortunately am not a developer. I wish I had that skill. But we hired it out, and that's definitely something that I have wanted to pursue. We've done a couple of collaborations where we'll have a card and write a story, or have another group write a story, and then they can use the portal then too. But I'm completely open to doing partnerships with other NFT owners, other projects that want kind of exclusive access for owning that card. So they could use a card, log in, be able to access written content. We haven't done it yet, but I'm pretty sure we can do video content, whatever. It's really a key to unlocking some other content, and we're completely open to letting other projects be part of that portal as well. I think it's a really neat thing. I just saw that Pinata, what's International Planetary Database, whatever the IPFS, I think is what it is. Just having something that on their own platform, but there's a lot of coding and stuff involved, so I haven't yet dove into that.
So I think I saw on your website one of the packs is currently sold out. Can you explain what other packs you have to offer right now?
For sure. One of the things, so we have our chapter 1 is the main product, and we did a pack launch, and then after the pack launch, we switched over to not selling the packs the same way, where the pack launch people got some exclusive stuff where they were able to get some extra variations of cards and things like that. And now we're doing just the starter card you can buy, and then a motivation pack. So you can access that first part of the story with that starter card, and then the motivation pack has a random assortment of motivation cards and coins. In addition to that, what we've done is released before chapter 1, and then we've done some since, are what we call flash fiction cards. So it's a one-off short story that has a card to it. And then we also are offering blends because we wanted to balance the story aspect. Some people are just going to want the NFTs for the story. They just want to read the story. They want to go through the choose your own adventure. And of course, there are people who want to do the collecting of everything. And so we offer a limited number of blends for an uncommon and a rare variety of each card as well. And then people who were part of the pack sale, there was a 1-of-1 card that is like an all access pass, and that individual who owns that card can access every part of the story, so they don't have to go and blend for each individual path in the story. They just get to read the whole thing.
So do you have any plans? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Cody.
That's super interesting. No, I was just I'm saying, like, right now, the NFT space is completely exploding. Everybody's super interested in the play to earn angle.
Mm-hmm.
I think this, storyline thing you got going could really be, like you said, it's very unique. Very unique.
It's different. We haven't seen anything, and you see these trends in NFTs every 2 or 3 weeks there's a new trend in NFTs, but it's right now everything's the generative art style. Everybody's on the generative thing. Play to earn is huge. Everybody's like, okay, now my NFT needs to be part of a game, and I totally get that. I collect some of those. I've got some generative art pieces, but I want to do something different. I know tying not just art, the drawing and stuff of it, but a story behind it. And I just thought choose your own adventure is so much fun. As I launch each of the paths, I go back and reread these different lines of the story, and I'm just like, this is too cool. As I go through the story again each time I post it. So it's new, it's different, and that's hard to get traction in NFTs right now. To do something that's completely different than everybody else. But I think there's a place for it. I don't want to just copy the crowd and do what everybody else is doing. I think not just the idea of story, but unlocking content through an NFT that isn't on the NFT, I think is a useful system for NFTs all around.
Yeah, I agree. I was just wondering, say, for example, if like an educational company came to you and wanted to like build something similar to your project right now, would you take that on as an idea?
We would definitely consider it. I mean, it'd be something we'd have to talk through and kind of see if it would match well, if it would fit well with us. But yeah, I mean, we're open to lots of collaborations. The space is full of neat ideas, and we like to help everybody out, make sure NFTs are here to stay. Whether people and not always in the form that we think of right now. I look at my own wallet and look through all the stuff I have, and I'm like, 90% of this is just like it's like stuff that's on my MySpace wall now. Like I'm never gonna see any of this again. And then there's 10% that I'll be like, man, that's awesome. Right. It'll probably be something one day where like 10 years from now I'll be like, hey, I wonder if I can log into Atomic Hub anymore. Can I still do that and go and look at my stuff? But we're kind of paving the roads for what will be the long-term stuff. And I'd like to see stories be part of that, not just art. I love the art. I think it's great. I think one of the things I've loved with this is getting to be part of making the art for these stories. It's kind of like illustrating a book. So I get to talk with my brother and go, hey, what were you thinking of this? And talk to the artist and be like, hey, can you do this with it? And it's a really neat process.
So one of the things I usually like to ask, since we're guilds on the Wax Network, we're always looking for advantages that Wax has over others and trying to highlight them. And you're a builder on Wax. Can you talk about maybe a tool that was available or something that maybe you wish was available that would have made this journey a little bit easier?
Oh man. I love the simplicity of creating on Wax. It's super easy to get started right away. There are obviously like some, anything on the blockchain, like the first time you make something, you're like, dang it, I spelled that wrong, and there's no way to change that now. Which is just, I think every NFT creator has done that, and they've got stacks of NFTs that are like, I gotta just hold on to these because they're not going, and templates that are just like they're stuck there. NFT Blocks has been fantastic. Them being able to do packs easily. We didn't do the pre-mint, and we didn't need to for ours. I didn't feel like that was. Though collecting is part of it, it wasn't the main focus. We've really liked the Bounty Blocks tool. They do a great job of being able to airdrop things to people and find people who are part of contests or whatnot. I will say that we had a lot of trouble development-wise integrating the API and the cloud wallet. While we were doing it, it was just one of those times that Wax was really taking on some new stuff and rebuilding some stuff, and it would go down all the time. And we had, I would definitely have, weeks that I'd be messaging the developer, and they're like, we just can't. I mean, the APIs just won't give us the stuff. It just isn't working. And so that was rough. I think that was probably our biggest issue was being able to work through that. It seems like it's not been a big deal recently, but I think part of it was we were hitting development right when Wax was also really, like exploding in the number of creators and stuff, and they were trying to upgrade stuff. So that was rough. I will say that delayed us quite a bit, but other than that, it's been good.
I'm going to bring it back a little bit. Can you explain the StoryCoin a little bit? I was kind of confused on that.
Yeah. So the StoryCoin is kind of an in-universe payment system for getting a new card. So whenever you blend two motivation cards, and the motivation cards are like fear, greed, anger. We tried to theme them after the feeling, the motivation that the character would have to take the next step. So if they were afraid, if they were fearful, you'd blend maybe two fear cards, two fear motivation cards, and then one coin. And the coin is always required as just one of those payments kind of things in the blend to get the next card. And those come in the motivation packs. You get, I believe the current motivation pack has 8 motivation cards and like 3 or 4 coins. You also then can use the coins to blend to a higher level of cards. So go from a common to an uncommon, and then an uncommon to a rare card. So they're not a token in the way many projects are now creating tokens. You get the Graffiti Kings are making, and the NFT guys got tokens and stuff like that. It's more of an in.
But there's our.
Am I good now?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're all back. I don't know. I had some internet problems for a second.
Do you have a Discord channel that people can jump into?
We do, yes, definitely. And I set up a short link, should still work. NFT Story.Cards /Discord should get people in there. We announce all our blends, announce our launches, do some contests in there, stuff like that. We're building out a kind of a wiki as well of the universe. As my brother, the author, has created this universe that's super cool. The whole story takes place on this floating island that's tilted, and so like everything is on one side, like the cities and stuff are on one side, and so it's a really kind of the crafting of this world has got a lot of really neat parts to it in different parts of the society and stuff like that. And so we're working on putting together a wiki so people can kind of keep track of all those different things, and we'll link that in the Discord as well.
Awesome. And your Twitter, people can find you at?
NFT Story Cards. NFT Story Cards. Yep, that's the Twitter handle. Find us there. We're on Instagram as well, NFT Story Cards. Find us all over the socials. Check it out. Get I think grab a story card, a motivation pack, and get started in choosing those paths. It's pretty cool. Right now, the one of the things we want to upgrade on our portal is some of the UI on the portal is not my favorite. But what I want to work towards right now is the My Assets button at the top shows like all of your collection assets from different collections as well. I want that to, we're working with the developers now to change that so it just shows your story cards. So right now when you log into the portal, it's got every story card, which is kind of nice because you can click and go, okay, I need to buy this one or whatever on the secondary or blend for it. But I want it to be able to have a place where you just see the ones that you have so you're not as confused by all the different ones. That's one of the things we're putting in Discord also is kind of some flow charts, some to see as we unveil different levels, you can kind of see the mind map of where these break off so you can keep track of it a little more.
Yeah, speaking of roadmaps, do you have any plans for like longevity? Is it just to keep making these different stories, keep continuing to build different pieces of the stories, etc.?
Idea is that we'll go on with chapter 2 after the first chapter is done. We want to get feedback from the community. I hate to set and go, hey, well, this is what we're going to do without feedback from the community to go, hey, one of the things we're studying now with feedback from people is the way we launch currently. We kind of release a level of a story every 2 weeks or so, with then the rarities of the cards released on opposite weeks. But I'm wondering if people, now we're all binge people. We're all like, we want Netflix and we're gonna watch it. Instead, just getting all of a chapter done and be like, hey, you could just go read through this in the same day. Blend, read, blend, read, blend, read. And that's one of the things I'd love feedback from the community on, is kind of how they like to consume. Because I'm finding that people, because NFTs are so overwhelming and consuming, everybody's got a new project they're looking at each day. It's easy to be like, oh, I forgot I have another part of that story I wanted to read, as the blends go. So we have plenty more story. We've got some other ideas we want to do, but I think we're not going to make any decisions without feedback from the community to go, hey, this is what they want.
Awesome. Anything else you want to wrap up with, Cody?
Yeah, that's about it for me. Any other questions on you, Dylan?
No, sounds good. Thanks for coming on, Zach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
We will leave all your info in the description down below for anyone watching. So, yeah.
Awesome.
See you guys.